Deep into the future of each and one of every of your lives awaits a mystery. Death. The cold and isolating silence that is the end of life. The Grim Reaper.
We're technically including the devil in this too, even though, like, it's kinda different.
Edgar Allan Poe. H.P. Lovecraft. Tim Burton. Barney the Dinosaur. And other dark and demented people have attempted to try to decipher the mystery that is death. But what about in the sphere of animation?
They do it too, sometimes.
And today Death.
Hi, I'm playing the role of Death in this episode today.
I am joined on the Jester Bros Cartoon Theater to go over the land of death. Join me as I look into my orb of death. And together, we will rank and harshly judge those who have attempted to cover my glory in animation's past. And without further ado, let's look.
Let's start with one that I think is, it's got some levity to it, and that's the Family Guy. Death.
Looking for that scroll, huh? Wouldn't mind finding that thing myself.
They do this with humor, obviously. I'm a character that has a great sense of humor. I'm hilarious. Funerals, just like a comedy club, honestly, in you know, the grand scheme of things.
I'm not gonna call that distasteful, and, you know, I want to be on your good side.
Yeah, that's...
Wise decision.
They do him in a way where he's kind of just a relatable guy.
Look at all that hair. Can't believe I thought that looked good. I must have been high.
Hey, that clip's relatable to me, don't judge. He's not that supernatural. He doesn't really have that much investment in whether you live or die. He's just as plagued by litigiousness as any other branch of a government. I think that there's something about that makes death feel less scary. Death is scary, and I think that that's important to acknowledge too, but I think that there is also an importance in acknowledging
The normalcy of it.
yeah, making it feel a little bit more like, if there was some spirit of death, it's probably not some big scary ghost that's out there to chomp on your, you know, narcs and make your soul waste away.
I definitely don't want my narcs chopped, that's for sure.
Exact. Okay, we deal with that.
Despite not liking Family Guy, I agree with you. I like that
Right?
Death is just kind of a casual person that you can have a beer with.
What I will also say is that it's Family Guy. We're not going in any crazy complexity, so I'd feel silly putting it any higher than B tier.
I agree with the placement of B tier for Family Guy's depiction of death.
Can't tell anyone I'm here, for if humanity discovers I'm no longer lurking in the shadows, consequences will be dire.
Could we move on to another one? We don't have to keep going with the levity theme.
Let's go with Lucifer from Hazbin Hotel. When we're introduced to them, obviously it's literally Lucifer, and this is a show that's based in hell, so we're expecting this really kind of big thing, but he's kind of a skinny, flamboyant theater kid.
The first time she's called you in years. This has to be perfect. Hey!
He's got a great singing voice. Love his design. He does have a very badass moment that I won't spoil for people. I would put them in S tier, maybe later, but I have not seen enough of them in the show yet for me to want to put them that high. I think they are saucy.
That show in general plays with the themes of good and evil in a very compelling way.
Yeah.
Anytime you know a character better than me, it makes me a little uncomfortable for that, but
That's fair.
Hold the applause, please. Okay. Thank you.
What are we talking about next?
Let's just do Rick and Morty.
A price for everything.
Oh my god! How can I not see this coming?
They kind of play with like Twilight Zone tropes, and I couldn't find another excuse to talk about Twilight Zone in this episode, and Twilight Zone is my favorite thing to do ever during Halloween.
It detects and catalogs all your Twilight Zone, Ray Bradbury, Friday the 13th, the series, voodoo crap magic.
The thing about this devil, the Family Guy devil, is that he's very relatable. He's a character that you like. You don't really like this devil. He's still a trickster, but the thing is, he's kind of actually bad at his job, and we just see Rick kind of troll on him the whole episode. And so he doesn't even do anything that evil. He's kind of petty. As Death, I'd almost say I'm offended, you know?
Oh, wow.
Like,
okay.
I'm sorry, Rick, come get me. I dare you.
You could just end this guy at a given moment if you really wanted to.
Well, I don't want to necessarily get into that. He's kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
I have some interest in talking about Hades from Hercules, being the Disney guy that I am.
Choked up since I got a hunk of moussaka caught in my throat. Huh? So is this an audience or a mosaic?
I love this rendition.
I really think it's fantastic, and I think that it has legacy and staying power.
I would go ahead and say in terms of Disney villains, they're one of my favorites. They're just so funny and genuinely intimidating.
And the one schlemiel who can last it up is waltzing around in the world!
As an audience, you laugh with the jokes. You love the design, the blue hair, the yellow eyes that pierce. You see him get angry and have his own motivation. You're fine putting Hades in the company of you.
Absolutely. You know, I can't put them up there because they're not complex enough.
Again, I think that Hades gets points for the legacy. Everybody has seen the design of Hades. Everybody knows who Hades is.
Yeah. Again, legendary
And-
voice acting.
Fortunately for the three of you, we still have time to correct this rather egregious oversight.
Could we talk about Devimon from Digimon?
For I am Devimon, ultimate ruler of the demon underworld. You must obey my every command.
You must all now like and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
He's a little weird because in Digimon, there's different Digivolutions. This is only one appearance of this character's lifespan when they are depicted as the devil in exactly this way. In the Digimon reboot, we see more phases, which are just like scarier versions of the devil. Devimon was like the original big bad, and he was an intimidating devil that went toe-to-toe with an angel character.
I just created a new tier list. Lame dash almost insultingly so. I realized that I want Devimon in okay because they are literally just a solid average
Evil devil. Stop it! I'm not going to allow you to take my power away. You'll have to fight me.
Let's get this one out of the way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not this guy. There I am.
Is that Nightmare Before Christmas?
It is. It's none of these characters in the front. The Grim Reaper is just a background character in the Nightmare Before Christmas. Death themselves is just casually sitting in on meetings, but isn't an active character. I just thought they go right behind Devimon.
I feel like this is boring for them to just be casually there and have no plot relevance whatsoever.
No, it's not boring because it's funny. They're an extra. That's hilarious.
I'm not going to argue.
Let's be
with
honest.
that.
I'm kind of a background character in most people's life until I'm not. You know what I mean? No, and I mean, Tim Burton is my guy. You know, he's gotten me a lot of teenage. I'm sorry, that was a messed up joke.
Oh God. Let's talk some anime.
Let's start with Pokemon.
The Pokemon that comes from shadows.
Giratina, Gen 4, is the devil Pokemon. They are the ruler of the dark realm or whatever. I'm putting them in boring.
I guess by definition,
They're the
yes,
devil.
they're considered the devil
I don't-
Pokemon. Fine.
To me, Darkrai, just purely based on design alone, would be higher. Darkrai and Giratina should have switched roles in the canon. It's a weird dragon ghost
It does
thing.
not look anything like what you would expect, and that's fine. You know,
Yeah.
I appreciate being creative with these designs and letting the devil characters be something different than what you expect.
And I know anime fans might be like, you chose Giratina. But look, it's the devil Pokemon. What do you want from me? I didn't write the Pokemon lore. And it's boring. Sorry.
So this is your world, is it?
But not everybody knows Soul Eater.
Hiya. Long time no see, huh?
But you should know Soul Eater because it's one of my favorite anime. It's all about Halloween. If you like this video, if you like Halloween, you like anime, you'll love Soul Eater for sure. They're all going to school to become Grim Reapers, like Meisters of Souls. And Death is the leader of this organization. And Death used to be a very scary, menacing guy, but this Death as we know him now, oh, he's just a fun little guy. He's not like that anymore.
I started an academy for meisters and weapons. My old mask would scare the kids senseless, so I had to make a little change. The little ones would even start crying.
We're not scary, we're funny. Very encouraging of students until he needs to take stuff seriously. And then he has like the anime old man badass like glow up. I might put them up here.
You described it in a way that I feel like I would love this character, and I have no problem with you putting them in S tier like you have.
Hell yeah.
Whoa, now that is cool.
What's our next one? What are we doing now? Ryuk, the Shinigami.
In the Shinigami realm, it brings us no amusement to kill those in the human world either. So I figured I'd have more fun if I came down here myself.
And I think this is an S tier, to put it out there now.
You think so? You think Ryuk?
Premise of Death Note itself is that there is a guy who can write down a name and a person will die.
Ryuk, this guy specifically, did drop the Death Note into the human world for the lulz.
You're asking me why? I did it because I was bored.
I believe that the image of this Shinigami is iconic. I think legacy matters when I'm thinking about tier listing things.
I might come down a little hard on this too, you might be surprised. Death Note isn't really interesting because of Ryuk. I got sucked into Death Note because of the metaphysical element and stayed for the really good thriller storytelling. But honestly, when you really examine Ryuk as a character, he's just kind of mildly entertained by humanity, which is an interesting take on death. It is a little flavor, but it's not saucy really even for me.
I think that's reasonable.
Let's keep going. Maybe they'll bump it up. Let's just do Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Grim Reaper does not like being tricked, so I decided that Jack would not be showing his face around town again, ever.
I am fighting for S tier very hard. When I think of the Grim Reaper in animation,
this is the first thing I think of too.
That comes immediately to my head, and I'd be hard pressed to say that other animation fans would not say the same.
I agree with you. I want to create a new tier. Because the thing is, iconicism is its own thing. Because he's not complex. He's really not. They didn't write him to be very, very complex. He's interesting. He's kind of complex, but he's not like blowing my mind with, the conception of good and evil or anything like that. Okay. And I think Hades deserves to be an iconic too. And the thing is, Lucifer's not iconic yet. They're just saucy. I actually talk smack about Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy a lot because I literally hate Billy as a character with a passion.
And now you're our best friend forever!
But Grim? Bro, I would take Grim all day.
Grim actually, he's got a moral code to him. In that way, he's a little complex. He's not just a basic depiction of I'm gonna go around and take people when it's their time. He really does try to do the right thing. He tries to guide Billy and Mandy in a positive way.
You cut his head off?
Yep.
All right, we got him.
This is a villain so evil, so sinister, so horribly vile, that even the utterance of his name strikes fear into the hearts of men. Him.
Apparently, the original name for this character was Satan, but the censor said no for a Cartoon Network show.
That's awesome.
He doesn't belong anywhere but saucy, but he's also iconic. So I'm good with that, but...
Iconic for different reasons, not necessarily an iconic death figure.
Absolutely a queer icon.
Well, let's do Chernabog, because we talked about Chernabog on the podcast recently.
We talked about how Chernabog is kind of this embodiment of evil.
This is the S tier of iconic. And to me, it doesn't get more iconic than this.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even hear Chernabog speak. The purpose of this character is to be this large, intimidating depiction of evil as demons are literally like swarming all around them.
They are Devimon perfected.
Oh, that's a great way of thinking about it.
All right, we've got Adventure Time's death.
I
wish I could put this one higher than saucy.
What's holding you back?
thing is, great design. The concept is covered well, but it's not him specifically that makes it happen. There's an amazing episode of Distant Lands that has Death as the main premise of the episode, but this version of Death, the main version of Death that we know throughout most of the series, actually isn't the star of that episode for very long. So, like, again, Death itself is covered in a very interesting way, but I can't justify putting them any higher than this.
Okay, so we're middle of saucy tier.
Middle of saucy for me.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Kiss of death, baby. You got your memory back.
Cuphead Devil?
They call me Old Scratch, Mr. S, the Big D. I'm the king of the underworld, yeah, it's great to be me.
Okay, I love the Cuphead Devil.
I love the Cuphead Devil too. I actually think this is maybe one of the best versions of the Devil that's been covered in animation. Like, let's just pretend we put this here, because I am thinking about it.
I think that the Cuphead show gave modern audiences classic cartoons in a way that they've never truly experienced. I'm grateful to it for that. It was a great show with a lot of classic cartoon gags, and the Devil, I think objectively was the best part of the show.
I agree. Yeah. This Devil is kind of the Family Guy Grim Reaper done perfectly. Plagued by bureaucracy, this is my job, funny, relatable, kind of flamboyant devil. But it does it in a way that actually gives it more character and complexity and makes us feel like we care about them and that we're invested in them. And they're still kind of the villain. They still kind of plague our protagonist, Cuphead and Mugman, but they plague him too. And the animation's crazy. I like the design, the voice acting's great, like...
And he is complex, because he has this rivalry with Cuphead and Mugman that sometimes he's conflicted about.
Yeah, because he kind of almost likes them sometimes, and that makes us like him.
Ah, how delightfully unexpected. You know, Cuphead, you're not so bad after all.
He wonders, do I want to be friends with these other people in hell? Do they actually like me?
They're not iconic. They can't go there. They're either top of saucy or bottom of complex, interesting, saucy, and hot. And he's hot. Remember how hard I simped for him?
Mm-hmm.
And I love a hot devil.
I'm a real naughty boy, I'm sure you'll agree.
I am in agreement with putting him in the complex S tier.
Let's do it.
I think that makes sense.
I love it. I love it. Let's do Over the Garden Wall. The Beast.
Are you ready to see true darkness?
We have history with this show as well. We love it. I think the Beast is a phenomenal character.
I need you to balance this because I wrote a whole theory video based on how Over the Garden Wall tackles death. Are they actually not this complex? Am I wrong?
The Beast is there to be kind of pure evil.
I did say that it is death that is covered well in Over the Garden Wall, not necessarily the Beast, and I said that about this death, so I guess I can't have them that high by that logic. They're iconic at this point.
I guess that's true. Over the Garden Wall is iconic at this point. And if you haven't seen it, everybody check out Over the Garden Wall.
Absolutely.
My gosh.
That is probably my actually #1 favorite Halloween piece of media that exists.
Yeah, I don't think that we could call them complex just because we don't know anything about their actual personality. They kind of are.
Yeah.
They are what they are designed to
iconic.
be.
No, there is only me. There is only my way. There is only the forest, and there is only surrender.
Last one. Death from Puss in Boots.
Well, well. If it isn't Puss in Boots himself.
And I'm just
the best one.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say they're #1.
They are #1.
I got chills down my spine when Death read this line.
You are death. And I don't mean it metaphorically or rhetorically or poetically or theoretically or in any other fancy way. I'm death. Straight up.
This DreamWorks animated film that started with Shrek just like sent kids screaming out of the movie theater.
It is, in my opinion, the best depiction of death that I've ever seen in animation.
Yeah, I'm blown away. I'm Death. I think they did a better job than I do. I honestly hate my job. I want to quit.
Everybody, if you haven't seen Puss in Boots 2,
yes,
it handles death in a thought-provoking way that makes you think as an audience member. It scares you, but sometimes it even makes you laugh. This character has everything that you are looking for in the cross section of every single character that we talked about today.
Who's that?
He's here for me.
Fantastic. And again, I'll kind of say that S and A tier, they're almost both S tiers. They're just different versions of it.
Well, that's all we got for you today, everybody. Stay alive out there. Don't be too afraid of death. It's cool to think about. It's not ruthless. It's got meaning and purpose and brings purpose to life. And that's what this is all about. Death is all about bringing purpose to life. So it's nice to have little seminars where we talk about it and think about it, because it's gonna happen. We're all gonna get there, and who knows what's gonna happen. So
well, thank you, Death, for joining us for Halloween month.
Absolutely. Look out, everybody. Might be coming for you this year. Really, though.